Let's go.
Hi everyone. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to adjust my microphone. Hold on. I was reading your guys' comments and did not grab my microphone. There we go. All right. Hi everyone. Welcome to my live Monday Night Live. That's kind of fun to say. Hi everyone. I see you guys in the comments. I see Susan in here. I seen somebody put, I think their city name was Sandwich. Is that right? Somebody here is from Sandwich. Where was that? Sandwich, Illinois. I thought that was pretty fun. Hi, Vicki. Thanks for joining us tonight. And Jen is here. Hi, Jen. And we have Altenew in the comments. I'm going to bet that's Mitzi. Yes, it is. So everyone can say hi to Mitzi. That should be kind of an indication if you haven't seen anything yet down below in the video description that I'm going to be playing with Altenew products today. And I have a special for you that I'll tell you about in just a moment. Hi, Donna and Paula. Great to see you guys popping in. Hello, hello, everyone. All right, I'm gonna assume that everything in the tech world is working. So I'm going to kind of get jumping into everything. Yeah, I hope you guys had a great weekend. Mine was interesting. I can tell you about that later if you didn't see my Instagram stories. But yeah, we're going to be doing some ink blending, of course, with Altenew products. So I'm really excited. I have a color palette picked out because I used it for a different project and I thought it would work really well for tonight. So, hi everyone. We have Kelly in here and Amy and Mary. Hi, Mary. All right, great. Thank you guys for joining so much. I'm so excited to see you guys in the comments and popping in live. So down below in the video description, I do have a link to the general supplies that I'm going to be using today. I have a special gift for you guys, or gift with purchase, I think it is. I'll show you the graphic in just a minute that you can use. So, oh, thank you, Mitzi. Yeah, it was an interesting day yesterday, I'll tell you. But let me pop this graphic up real quick for you guys. All right. Free gift from September 8th through the 10th. This is an exclusive offer for all of my YouTube friends that are catching me live and on replay. So you get a mini blending brush on orders over $69. Use the code Mindy Live and the number 2 when you go to checkout. So I didn't put that information yet in the video description. I will update that after the live is done. But mini blending brushes, you guys, these are some of my favorites. I will say I use them a lot when it comes to my ink blending. I'm a huge, huge fan of them. So this is a great time if you wanted to just try it out. This is a great time to just tuck that little guy into your cart, and it's a free gift for you. So I will have all of that information down below, and I'm sure Mitzi can help answer any questions that you might have when it comes to making that purchase if you like. Those are affiliate links that I have linked in the video description. So anytime you use an affiliate link, I do get a small percentage back off of that order, just so you are aware. So yeah, this is a great offer. Again, this is September 8th through the 10th, and a big, big thank you to Altenew for providing that to you guys. Like I said, I use those blending brushes all the time, so I can definitely, definitely recommend them. All right, so I think I'll jump into it and get started. I'm kind of excited to see how this project turns out too. So let me just pop down to my tabletop here. So this is what I'm going to use today. Now, this is a previously released product. This is not like real brand new or anything. It is the Lovely Rose Peony. It is, I mean, whenever I go to grab something to work with, I don't even look at the name of the stamp set, to be honest. I look at the stamp itself, and then I go to, either put it into a link deli list or something like that. And I'm like, oh, of course it's a peony. I constantly gravitate towards peonies. I just love them as stamp sets. Between sunflowers, daisies, and peonies, I could probably not have enough of those types of images in my collection. So we have a birthday. I see a birthday. Happy birthday, Betty. We have a Betty that has a birthday. Oh, 90th birthday, Betty. Well, congratulations. That is amazing. And so excited that you are here today checking out the live on your birthday. Is it today? Is that what I saw? Let me go back to my comments. Today, yes. Well, thank you for joining my live on your 90th birthday. All right, so I'm going to kind of do some of my usual ink blending things that I like to do with this, and I'll explain them as I go in case you've never watched any of my videos before when it comes to stamped images. I also have picked out the circle frame stencil, so it's going to be a fairly simple background, and I'm really going to focus on the ink blending of the flower, of course, because it's my happy place. So let's jump in and get that started. I am going to bring in some white cardstock. I did forget to link my white cardstock. This happens to be a white cardstock from Concord and Ninth. I can link it after my live is done, which I will do if I'm bringing out anything in my live that I didn't list down below. I will update that after the live is done, and I'll get some pictures taken and all the fun stuff. So I'm going to use my stamp wheel for this. This is the Stamp Wheel 2.0. So it's going to fit my large piece of cardstock. This is just cut to 5.5 by 8.5. And now I think this is going to fit both of these. So we have the peony, which this image alone would be gorgeous to use just on the card front. But I think I'm going to try and put it in a vase. Let me grab my top plate here. Robin has this stamp set, and I'm glad to see what you are going to create. I think I might actually have created, I mean, it's dirty. I think I definitely created with it before. And if we go to, actually, hold on one sec. Okay, so I don't think the front one is mine, but that background card with the outline, that is a card that I did do. So there I was showing you, it's off on the right-hand side, the card on the right-hand side with the watercolor background and just the outline of the stamp. There I'm showing you that you can still make that a focal point without having to color it in. So if you don't have a lot of inks or blending brushes or don't want to color it, you can use it as just an outline and you can still make it a focal point. So I did notice that in that graphic is that that's my card in the background. All right, so let's get this inked up. Hi, Josie from Ohio. All right, so I am going to stamp with permanent mist gray ink. Now, I do my stamping a little different. If I am going to be stamping an image and then using my blending tools and stencils to color it in, I like to personally, oh, my microphone's in the way. Hold on there. There we go. I like to stamp in a light gray ink first. And the reason for that is I don't want to risk smearing the black ink if I don't wait long enough for it to dry. So I like to stamp it first in a light gray color. I'll ink blend it, stencil it all in. I leave the stamps in place, and then when I'm all done, I'll come back and stamp it in the black outline. So let me stamp these down. Mary has a question. I have a cart going already with Altenew. Can I put the code in so Mindy gets credit? You can use the code. I think, Mary, even if you have a cart started, if you use my link down below, like, because you may already have a cookie in there. So it might be tracking from somewhere else that you clicked off of. If you wanted to ensure that I get the credit for it, you should be able to click one of my links down below to take you to the Altenew website, and your cart should still have all your stuff in it. I believe. Is that how that all works? And then, yes, you can absolutely use the code. So it kind of goes off of the last link that you clicked. Okay, that's super light, which is fine. I'm going to stamp it one more time. I have a sticky mat down there, so my cardstock's not going to move. All right, I'm going to get this inked up again. I usually don't stamp it twice when I'm doing the gray ink, but I want to make sure you guys can see this on camera. It's not going to hurt it if I stamp it twice. Emma says, I just got this a few days ago. It is a gorgeous set. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I just love anything with peonies. I mean, I'm not real good at keeping flowers alive, so I do what I can with stamp images. There we go. Now you can really see that. So let's peel this off. I am going to leave my stamps in place. So I will just set this off on the side. And I'm going to bring in my 9x12 sticky mat, which I keep in one of these Altenew zipper pouches that I did not link. So I'll make a note to link that. All right, you can see mine is well loved. I do actually have a new one of these. I just don't have the heart to dig it out. This one works. Okay, so now I'm going to start with my flowers. Oh. Okay, I think I'm back. I think you guys should be able to hear me. I had to cough real quick, so I hope I muted it enough to cough. Otherwise, my son's going to yell because he's watching. He doesn't like when I have to cough. So what my idea was is to do some fall colors in this peony. They do provide you with examples. Well, here you can see they did some oranges, and that is really beautiful. I really wanted to make a fall color palette for this. Mine's going to mix a little bit more than just an orange. They provide some other inspiration in here for you, maybe just using the vases. This one has some blue flowers, but I think I want to kind of mix it up. So the color palette that I picked out is this one, I believe, is the Fall Harvest collection, and I did link that. So I'm going to use some colors out of Fall Harvest. I'm also going to use some out of Tea Party. And then for the leaves, I picked Jade Dreams for my leaves. So we will see how that starts out. Now, the color, let's see. I think I'm going to start. Well, how many stencils do we have for this? I should look at that first. Make sure I have the stencils in here. Sometimes I don't put them away. Hello from Baton Rouge. That's awesome, Tracy. Glad you're here. And you will see Vicki Donnelly. She is my helper today, my moderator. She will be sharing links in the comments there. So if you guys are interested in anything, those links do come from my supply list. So they are my affiliate links if you're interested in those products that I have. Now, these stencils, if you are not familiar with them with Altenew, they like to use as much as the stencil as they can. So you will oftentimes see divider lines, which means they have a piece of a flower here, a piece of a flower here. So they try and pack as much as they can on one stencil, and they will typically label them. So for one, this is stencil 1. It has a 1 up there circled in the corner. And then this has an A1 and an A2. So they always make it real easy for us to be able to line up our stencils. This one has multiple etched lines on it. So this is telling me that we have 1, 2, 3 areas on there. Let me make sure. First, I want to make sure that they're all in order. So we only have 2 for the vase. So I'm actually just going to set that off on the side. And well, we're going to wing it. I don't remember how it all goes. So we're going to find out here. So I just kind of twist and turn until I can kind of see where it might line up. Just following the shapes. You might see my head pop in a little bit because I do have to kind of get over the top. So I apologize. And then any excess stencil is going to stick down to the sticky mat there. Sometimes I do like to bring in Post-it tape. I can get a little carried away with my ink blending. So I like to try and protect that as much as possible. And even down here probably. But you can also use Post-it notes. You can get a whole pack of them for a very reasonable amount. So you can see this is just, well, let me zoom in a little bit actually. Help you out a little. Here we go. So this is going to do just some of the petals. So really, I think I'm going to be considering this a coloring stencil. It's not layering colors over each other. We are literally just coloring in the petals. So to me, that leaves me a lot of options to be able to add the contrast and the depth to the image with my ink blending. But I am going to, well, let's see. Let's start with maybe, what do I have? 1, maybe 2. I think I'll start with the pumpkin pie and we'll see how this goes. So let me grab some blending brushes. And I'm just going to, I have this really crazy dirty rag that I like to clean my brushes off on. Just to kind of get rid of the excess ink, because that was a really dark color that I had on there before. Jasmine says, hello, Mindy. Glad to catch your live this evening. Well, I'm glad you're able to catch it too. Thank you. So I'm really in the fall mood here. Let's see. Now there's 2 ways I could go about this. So I didn't think this out 100%. I could do kind of an ombre blending where I start with maybe pink over here and yellow over here and blend them. I could do each petal where it has, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do each petal is going to have that color instead of making a sweeping color across. I didn't think that part through 100%. So let's get some of this in there. I'm going to have to switch to those mini blending brushes to get into those smaller areas. So I'm going to start with the pumpkin pie there. And then let's move to Coral Bliss. And that one, I will get out a small or a mini blending brush. Let's grab this one. Ooh, this one's pretty dark. So welcome everyone. I hope your guys' week is starting off on a good foot for a Monday. I actually got a lot done today, so I'm pretty happy with the productivity of my Monday so far. So now we're going to move in to Coral Bliss, and I'm going to come in on the tip of the petals and then blend maybe about halfway down, or not even. Depends on how much I use the yellow, because I want to get that overlap for that kind of fiery orange. So I'll come around here. And this is kind of going to be like a base layer for me because I'm not going to move this stencil yet. I want to build up this dimension. So get around these edges. So that was the Coral Bliss. Hi, Nikki. My first... Nikki says, this is my first Mindy live and obsessed with your ink blending. Well, thank you so much, Nikki. That's great to hear. I'm glad you enjoy it. I am going to move. Like I said, I'm still leaving this first stencil in place. I need to kind of build up my contrast. So I'm going to come in now with the yellow, gosh, all these names, orcher. I have no idea. I did not do well in English class. So let's go with a smaller one. I believe this is the micro blending brushes, maybe. So I am adding this way down here at the bottom. I don't want to add too much, but I really do want to have a darker color down there. So we'll just kind of get that up. Good morning from South Australia. That's amazing. So is this super early in South Australia? And we'll add a little bit there. And then I need to come in with my red. Aloha. We have Hawaii. It's so great to see the different countries that pop in. I love that. All right, I'm grabbing another detail brush here. I'm tapping off quite a bit because I don't know how strong heartbeat is. So we're going to get that around the edges there and we'll see how it goes. A lot of times my blending evolves. If I did something, I want to go back and kind of change the rest of it. So we'll see how this evolves. I might not like it. We shall see. It's all kind of an experiment. And a little bit there, a little bit there. All right. Let's check this out. I can always come back and add more if I find out that that wasn't enough. I'm very tempted to bring in a brown or even a really dark gray, but we'll see how this goes. So let's peel this up, check it out. That is looking good. You know, I think I'm going to bring in a brown. Hold on one sec. See, this is what I mean. Things evolve. Let's do some mocha. Ochre. Thank you, Patty. I do appreciate that. Ochre. Yeah, I'm not real good. I think I'm all prepared. That might have been a yellow one. I think I'm all prepared until these names pop up, and then I kind of make myself look silly. I was never here for pronunciation. I'm just here to make a card. So I am adding some of this brown down here. It's going to be a fall card, so brown is always welcome in my fall cards. I tend to go for more traditional colors in the fall, but I do see a lot of cards with kind of just that, I don't know, modern vibe to them, and they're always so pretty. I think maybe because I live in Wisconsin that I just am totally in love with the traditional fall colors. I might have just lost my yellow there a little bit. Okay, so let's see how that looks. I think that'll be good. So let's move on. And like I said, who knows? I might just, who knows what'll happen along the way. Okay, so this is still stencil 1, but that was A1. So I'm going to move to A2. And we're just going to kind of move that around until we find the spot for it. Just kind of that sweet spot. So I am looking at both the top and the bottom of the stencil to make sure that those all line up. And then we'll go ahead and mask off these areas so I don't get a little crazy. Because once I get into my blending zone, I tend to, what did I start with? Pumpkin. I tend to not pay attention. I think I'm going to switch though. Let's go with this. Let's go with another mini. Yeah, we'll start with the pumpkin there. I think this will work better for control purposes. So this goes towards the center. Like I said, I'm kind of going up far enough so that it'll overlap with the red, but yet I'm leaving room so that red can have its moment too. Hello from Wisconsin, I see. A fellow Wisconsinite. So this one, I might lose a bit of the red there because these petals are pretty close to each other. I could mask it off, but that's okay. I don't need to. And we'll go up here. So now I'm going to try and repeat those steps that I did, which sometimes can be hard if I remember everything I did. So we're going to move, let's see, that was pumpkin. So those were kind of my base colors. Come on. We're going to go to Coral Bliss. I just love Coral Bliss. Coral Bliss has always been a favorite of mine. So that Coral Bliss kind of goes around the edges and then comes down and blends in to that pumpkin pie. And we just get that beautiful transition there. It's a great start if you were looking for like a rainbow to do of ink blending. Coral and pumpkin would be a great start to that. I think I used coral in a lot of rainbow cards. New Richmond, Wisconsin. Michelle, that's awesome. I know somebody that lives in New Richmond. I think my red got a little carried away down there, but that's okay. It'll probably get covered up with my brown. And around the petals here. And around here. Sam, you heard that too? My puppy's hearing car doors slam. Tracy's in Wisconsin too. That's amazing. Okay, on to our yellow ochre, I believe is what that was. So we'll get that in there. Start down. It's really hard sometimes to kind of describe what I'm doing. That's why I like just doing videos. And a lot of it is experimentation. Yeah, that coral and pumpkin is just magical. And we'll just work our way around. So how was everyone's weekend? I hope you guys had a great weekend. We had some beautiful weather in Wisconsin. I still leave a little highlight here. I'm kind of losing my highlight there. I think I went up too far on some of those. No, but we had some beautiful weather. We have beautiful weather today. I think it's in the 70s today here, but I am more of the 60-degree weather girl. Oh no, it's thundering where you are, Florna. That's not good. Let's move to Heartbeat. Get around our edges there. So if you didn't catch my Instagram story yesterday, we had quite the adventure. So my daughter's at college. She's down in Madison, and she went back last week. I think she's been down there a week now. And we were waiting for her new computer to come in. Well, it came in late. Long story on that one. I don't want to get started on, but it came in late. So we decided that we were going to take it down to her, take her grocery shopping, take her a few other odds and ends things that, we didn't get a chance to pack before. So got up early. I don't like getting up early. Got up early, headed out the door. I think we were on the road by 7:30. We get maybe 20 minutes away from the house and we hear a funny noise. At first we thought it was the highway, because sometimes when you're going down a highway, it just makes a funny noise. But the noise didn't change when we crossed a bridge. So we pulled over, and come to find out, we completely blew out our tire. Brand new tires, completely blew out our back tire. So Of course, we pulled over, Dalton's in the car. He was a real trooper with the whole situation. Um, State trooper pulled over to help us. He was just the nicest guy, so helpful. We called the towing company because we didn't know if we ruined our rim, so we didn't want to mess with it. So we called the towing company. They came out, helped us. We got our donut on, came back home, switched cars. Thankfully, we have 2 vehicles. So we switched cars, headed back down, got down, and um we're like maybe a block away from where my daughter lives. And all of a sudden there's roadblock signs. There was an Ironman race in Madison, and they took up like half of the downtown, or probably the whole downtown. So it took us, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes to get through. You know, poor daddy. he he was driving, and it was just, he kept his cool really well. I don't know if I could have if I was driving. It was just insane. They had everything just blocked off. So finally, um, Allie talked to uh, a cop that was nearby, and he's like, "Yeah, just pull up to the nearest one and move the cones." So we did that. We're like, "Yeah, we are not taking you grocery shopping now." So we went to eat. We'll just give her money. She can order online. So it was just, yeah, that was not our best moment ever when it came to Madison. If anything could have gone wrong yesterday, it did. Here I just decided to bring in a little bit of this darkest shade because my brown got a little carried away there when I was talking. So I did share pictures in my story of the blown tire, and oh, it was an adventure. Like, things could have been worse. It could have been raining. It could have been snowing. I mean, there's a lot that could have been worse. So, oh, I did get carried away. Look at that, guys. I didn't even mask it off good enough. Okay, thankfully, I already know I'm going to die cut this. Hi, Dana Joy. So good to see you here. All right, that was my first one. Let's plunk this where I'm not going to get in the way. Okay, this is kind of crazy, I know, but wait for it all to come together in case you're questioning it. I don't ever judge until I'm done. And unfortunately, I did get a mark there, but I'm not too worried about that. So let's line this one up. You can see how all those petals kind of fit together in the stencil like a puzzle. Barbara, you saw that picture. Isn't that insane? That thing just blew. That was crazy. I've had flat tires before, but I've never experienced a blown tire, and that one was, she was done. We can't take it until tomorrow. So, okay, back to pumpkin pie. So again, starting this over. And this is why I say you can experiment, and the ink blending kind of evolves because I'm doing this process multiple times. Like, see, the second time there, I brought in the berry mocha, which is a really, really kind of like brownish red, just to see what it looked like. So I like to kind of experiment with my colors. Hi, Krista. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you guys all for joining tonight. I was really hoping. Hubby was like, "So, how long is your live going to be tonight?" Like, "Oh, it'll be fine. I'll be done in an hour." I don't know why I give myself false hope. Very, very rarely have I finished in an hour. I just get to ink blending and I get carried away. Okay, so that was the pumpkin pie, and then I need the coral bliss. Well, thank you, Charlotte. Charlotte says, I love watching you blend colors. You always pick the best colors. I really go off of honestly the rainbow. I think about what colors work well together, and I know, red and yellow are going to make orange. So it's just a matter of picking the shade of red and yellow. That's where it gets to be kind of fun. Like I could have gone really bright pinky and a citrusy yellow, but I'm more into the fall mode right now. And like I said, I use these actually on an Altenew project that's coming up this week. And I have this color palette out. I'm like, I am not done with this color palette. I really like this color palette. Oops. So we'll just keep plugging along. And it's just kind of my zen. I really love my ink blending. I always think you guys are going to get sick of it because it's all I do, really. Try to throw in some alcohol marker coloring every now and then. But this is just, oh, here, did I miss what the deal was? Sure, I'll pop that graphic up for those that might be joining a little later into the video. Let me pop up that graphic here. I won't ink blend yet, I'll wait. So your free gift with purchase of orders over $69 is a mini blending brush, which is, I'm using quite a few of those tonight. And I will show you the different ones in case you're not familiar. But free gift with purchase, you'll get one of those mini blending brushes to try out. The offer is good the 8th through the 10th. I do have my affiliate links listed down below in the video description. I believe that Vicky has also been sharing those links. And let me see if I still have this copied here. I do. Let me pop that into the comments. So that list should take you, that link that I provided in the comments should also take you to my full supply list of products that I picked out ahead of time if you're interested. So yes, use the code at checkout, Mindy Live and the number 2, and that should get you that mini blending brush for free with an order of $69 or more. So that is our special. That is our deal from Altenew tonight. So it's always so great when they reach out and offer things like that. I think that is just fantastic of companies when they can do it. It's definitely not something I like expect. I just want to go live. I want to chat. You guys, I love seeing you in the comments and sharing how your day has been and seeing where you're from. So I love seeing that. And then it's just just a nice bonus when a company reaches out and offers wonderful deals like that. And I mean, my gosh, it's a mini blending brush. Like I would just, I love adding, I cannot have enough mini blending brushes. So this is the yellow ochre that I'm adding in. You might not see all of it, but pop those in. So this one, I believe, so this is size 10. I think they come size 10 and 7. These are the detail blending brushes. Mitzi, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think these are the detail. Trying to get my wording right. This is the mini. So this is what you would get for free with that code at checkout. And then these are the smalls. So I think I'm getting better at my terminology when it comes to the brushes. I did see a question. Do the Gina K mini blending brushes fit in the Altenew new storage container? No, they won't. Gina's are smaller. They're pretty skinny, so those wouldn't fit in there. I actually, to be honest, Gina's detail blending brushes, I keep in mason jars, canning jars. I have like 3 or 4 canning jars. I keep these in the canning jar, and I keep Gina's in a canning jar. Am I using yellow ochre? Let's move on. So let's go with, what do I need? Heartbeat is next. You have many and keep buying more. I know they're a usable item. That's why it's so nice to have those. I mean, you might as well. If you already have, things in your cart that you wanted to get, I mean, you might as well. You cannot have enough mini blending brushes. You can always find a use for them. It's so helpful. Like I know a lot of people will be like, you don't need a brush for every color, and you don't. Like Altenew has tons of colors. I do not have a blending brush for every single color. But what I do like to have is a light, medium, and dark. Like I save one for light pinks. I save one for just kind of a nice red. And then I might have one for deep dark reds. But that's my preference because this is what I enjoy. If you look at somebody who loves to watercolor, they're not going to have just one watercolor set. They're going to probably have multiples for different reasons. So it's all about what you love. Okay, that was Heartbeat. So let's move to Mocha. Hi, Sheila. I'm glad you caught me too. Mocha tends to be a little crazy on me a little. I gotta be a little careful with Mocha. And the bristles are really squished. There's not a lot of them there. So it does kind of drop a little bit more color in one spot because they're so compact. Oops, I kind of spilled over there. I made a spill. That's okay. Not gonna worry about it. So we'll go up here. And one more spot here. And I keep making all these fall cards with these fall colors because I'm just really, I'm kind of, oh, what's the word? Envisioning fall. I'm trying to manifest fall. That's the word I want. I'm trying to manifest fall. I love the cooler temperatures. I want all of the bugs and bees to die because we have a ton of wasps and bees outside our house on our tree. I'm just over it. I'm over it, over it. I'm gonna try and fix that one. I just might make this a really, really dark red there. And go around those edges. But this is why if you see a project with ink blending and it just kind of pops, this is why. It's because of that contrast of the really light colors and the really dark colors. Okay, let's move on to the next one. It is going to be fall rich, I will tell you. So we have A4s over here. You know what? Oh, okay, hold on. I think I'm gonna clean this stencil really quick because that's pretty insane. I don't want to transfer that. So I'm gonna do this on my lap. So I don't have room on my table. I ran out of room with my ink pad. So let me just wipe this down really quick. I just sprayed it with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Just to get, I don't need it all gone. It just is starting to get a little crazy. So I don't want to transfer any of that ink. So I'm starting to get a little carried away there. So let's move on. Yep, this should be the last of the petals. And line that up. It is definitely going to be fall themed. Okay, now back to pumpkin pie. So this should be the last time I reach for the pumpkin pie. Hello, hello. I need to mask this off. As pretty as the leaves would be in those colors, I don't want it. I have plans for those leaves. Let's see. So this petal I know is still like in the inside of the flower. And this one is pretty close. So I know where my yellow is going to go there. And let's see, this one, what do I want to do? Trying to think of the best way if I should put the yellow on the top of the petal or the bottom. Let's go down here, I think, maybe. We'll see how this works. Thank you, guys. We're seeing lobsters. What? You saw a lobster. No. No. Erase that image from your mind. We don't want any lobsters. It'll come together more when I restamp it too. That's when it really kind of ties it all back together, is when I add the black stamping in. So let's bring in my, oh, I was using this one. My husband was talking about lobsters earlier today, Florina. I can say lobsters are not a part of our conversation. We don't really have a reason to talk about lobsters. Bees, maybe, but I don't mind bees. It's the wasps that I just want all to die. I don't, other than being food, I don't see where wasps serve a purpose. All right, so that is my Coral Bliss. My cap. So now again, building up my color. So this will be finishing off the last set of petals. That got a little carried away there. That got a little carried away. I am making a mess. And for there. See if I can blend that out a little bit. There. Can I do a video showing my cardstock swatches in order with the different companies you have? Yeah, I mean, I've done a swatching video. Have you seen the swatching video? Like, that one doesn't show all of it, but I do have a swatching video that kind of shows some of them, I guess, maybe. But yeah, I think I could do something like that. I don't have every company that's out there. I have, you know, the ones I have. It's not that I don't like the other companies. I do have plenty. Some of the inks I have were sent to me by companies because I do videos for them. And others I've purchased on my own because I'm a collector of ink pads. So, you know, you have that. And it's something, I mean, it's not something I got them overnight. They were, you know, the Altenew inks, I purchased a lot of them on my own, and then their newer ones they did send me, but I would purchase like one collection at a time. You know, what did I want to use? That was when they had their ovals. I did kind of work on that collection myself. And then as I started working as a guest designer for them, and then now on the design team, I do get them sent to me, the new ones, these fresh dye inks. I would have bought them anyway. So, all right, that was, I think I skipped Heartbeat, and I don't remember actually. I'm talking and I forgot where I was with my colors. I get distracted when I'm talking. Let's add in the mocha. And try and be a little careful about this. Tend to just get a little carried away. So you may be blending and not see the need for all of those colors that I used, and maybe not. So you could experiment with, you know, maybe skipping some of them, but I believe they do all kind of serve a purpose. As I did like a base layer to kind of get me started, and then as I added other colors, you know, I wanted to experiment. So I think they all do serve a purpose. Now, I don't want to get too far. I want to get my ink pads back in order because that kind of drives me crazy if they're out of order. So let's get these. Sorry, honey, this is not getting done in an hour. Pretty sure that my husband and son are watching because he takes Dalton and distracts Dalton while I'm live. Yeah, and I'm not getting done in an hour. So hopefully they're able to do some fun stuff. All right, now I'm gonna have to go probably pretty dark with the centers, because normally I would do those in like a pumpkin or something like that. But being that I used those colors in my flowers, I'm going to, I think I'll do like a dark gray maybe. Let me see. Let's try industrial diamond and see what that gets us. Whoops, that's green. 1 second. See, these are my jars, and I just look at the tops. So let's grab this one. Looks like it'd be a dark gray. Yeah, we'll see. I might actually have to go. I might have to. Oops, my stencil is moving. We'll see how this goes. And again, if it's not quite looking like you thought it would, once we add the details in, I think is when you'll really see the full picture come together. Oh, I love that with that dark center. I love, love, love it. Let me get that out of the way. So now I have my leaves. So this is stencil 3, and we have a split section here. So I have a couple of them. We have B1. I have to kind of tilt it to see it. B1, my B2 is down here, and then B3 is over here. So B1, let's figure out where that goes and hold that down. Okay. Yes, I go through a lot of Post-it tape. One of the reasons I don't reuse it a ton, I buy it in bulk on Amazon for one, a lot of it. I don't reuse it because it may pick up ink from my project, and I have transferred the ink from my Post-it tape to like a stenciled area before. So, you know, Post-it notes are great too. I just don't reuse them a ton of times because I do not want to risk getting ink over that. So let me look here. See, here's my line. I'm just kind of looking down, you know, towards the bottom of my table here to see where that is. And then I can just kind of cover that off a little bit. And I probably, you can use satin masking tape for this too. I use satin masking tape a lot to hold my dies down when I'm die cutting, just because I go through it so much. And then for this, so this again is a coloring stencil. We're not going to be layering over it. So I'm going to have to add that depth and dimension myself. So let's just jump right in with the second color, which is the Misty Sage. And another blending brush here. I'm backwards. Jasmine says, I would love if Altenew would add the family names on the bottom of the inks. I haven't taken time to print out labels. I did on some of them. I think this one. Yes, this is Jade Dreams. I did start doing that, and then I kind of got a little lazy. I didn't get a chance to go through them again. So I did try and do that, but I kind of agree with you. I would love to have family names on the bottom of the ink pads. Because if I'm looking them up or just want to know when I'm stacking them back up, if I have multiple ones on my desk, I think it would be really helpful for me to have those down there. Let's see. Let's grab one of these. And I'm adding this Mossy Meadow down by the bottom of the leaves. It's closest to the flower. And I'm kind of tracing around the edge of the petal to be able to provide that contrast. And then finish it off with the green opal. So let's find a detail for that. Just had a detail. Where'd it go? Oh, we'll use this one. This will be fine. And come in there. Oh, that's going to look really good. You start blending, and sometimes you just know when you made the right choice. So again, this is one I'm going to kind of trace around that one side of the petal. Okay, go up here and up here. Get that edge. All right. I could probably have came in a little bit more, but keep all my greens over there. Whoops. Maggie, she says, I like to pretend I'm Mindy when I'm assuming you meant ink blend. That's so cute. And let's see, I don't want to smear anything. Oof. Okay. See, I would have gotten that on my project. All right, so here we are going to move to B2. Oh gosh, I just love this. Think of all the different color combinations you could do with these peonies. I mean, did you think that this could be a fall bouquet? Line that one up. Try not to smear that. And then we're gonna place, let's see, I'm just gonna cover that up. Go around our edges and we'll block that off. So Misty Sage was first. That is kind of my base highlight color. And I'm okay having it kind of fade off into the white. And then we'll come in with the next one, which is the Mossy Meadow. Thank you guys. I'm glad you're liking it. And thank you all for joining me tonight. I see lots of you have popped in since I started. That's wonderful to see you guys all here tonight. Up here. All around. Still leaving that highlight. Whoop, a little carried away there. And over here. And up there. And then we can move on to our green opal. And if you really wanted to make it pop, you could bring in that brown or even a black. I experimented in a live, I think it was with Bridget not too long ago. It's on the Altenew YouTube channel. I made like a Halloween themed. I probably used peonies there too. I used like a Halloween themed floral card and I used black and wow, it was an experiment. I don't think I ever really ink blended or shaded with black like that before. And the results were just, I mean, you have to be careful with it. It can overpower if you're not careful, but you'll have to check that out. It's on the Altenew YouTube channel and it was just a really great experiment. So even black here would be really fun to see. But I already have a lot of colors going on. So kind of tracing around those outer edges and go around here. And then I'll do this last one. Oof, that's going to be nice. It's going to be nice, you guys. And then I think I have one more little section to do. Let's get rid of that Post-it tape. Yep, I'm at the hour mark. Sorry, babe. So hopefully Dalton doesn't get too antsy. He is in his second week of high school. Took him outside as soon as we got home today from school so he could jump out being cooped up all day. My dog hears people outside, so he's going crazy. I don't know if that's Dad outside though or not, or if that's just people walking past. We live on a pretty popular street, and we're pretty close to the schools, the middle school and the high school. So we have so many people that are walking past. We have a lot of, well, just people walking in general. We have people walking their dogs, which drives my dog crazy. Cynthia, I am using the 9x12 sticky mat from Altenew. And that I know I did link down below in the video description. I did have that planned out to use the sticky mat tonight. So that one I got. It's pretty well loved. Hope I didn't miss any other questions there while I was babbling. You mean more than Monday Night Football? Babe. I didn't catch that was him right away. I was like, wow, somebody really likes me out there. Well, that would be my husband in the comments. Love you, babe. So funny. But yeah, him and Dalton watch me when they're gone. And I'm adding in. He tries to watch my replays of a video in the other room. And I'm like, nope. Watch at a different time. I cannot hear myself. I will re-watch my video before I put it up. But when he tries to put the video on in the other room, I'm like, nope, I cannot hear myself. I don't know what it is. And yes, I felt bad because football season has kicked off. And so it's Monday Night Football. Okay, so that was the last layer of the stencil for the flowers. Now, before I jump to the stamping, I am going to turn this and I'm going to do the vase really quick. And I don't think there is a lot to the vase. I think this just has a couple. So I'm not going to get too carried away, or I don't want to get too carried away. We'll see what happens. We'll see what plays out. Just carefully block that. And then for this, I'm going to be using, oh, what was this? Cool Summer Night collection. I think this was it. So let's start with, well, I kind of wanted this to be light. I didn't want this to be too dark and compete with the colors there. So where is, I have kind of a light brush that I use for this. Nikki asks, do you use masking stencils to cover areas you don't want to get ink on? If it had masking stencils, this one, like I know some stencils do have masks. I don't think I use those a ton, to be honest. I mean, any areas I don't want ink blended, I just cover them with Post-it tape. I hope I'm understanding your question. I know, yeah, some stencils I know do have masks. I just don't typically use them, I don't think. Let's see. Oh, this is pretty dark. I don't like having two ink pads open at once. So we're gonna just pop in a little bit of this darker color here. Like I said, I don't want to get too carried away with this one because it's just the vase. But I don't want my flower to be super dimensional and then my vase just kind of be like blah. And who knows, I might not even use the vase. I'm gonna move these. I might just decide to use that floral piece on its own. Haven't decided yet. You know, well, actually, hold up. Where did... you know what? I am going to skip... I'm going to skip the base, actually. I'm going to skip that. So let me just get these all kind of out of my way. And then I can link those extra colors later. I'm going to get some of these brushes out of the way, because I need all the space I can get. So 1 second, guys. I am one of those crafters that has to kind of clean up as I go. So let's go ahead and move this. Get this off on the side. We are going to wipe up this disaster off on the side. And I just do that with my colorful dish towel and some rubbing alcohol. Here we go. So now I'm going to stamp the outline back in. So I'll bring my stamp wheel back over. I'm going to place this back down. Look at that. I was transferring ink all over the place. I'm going to put that down in that bottom corner like I started. And pivot, I almost said that earlier. And then this should line all back up. I'm going to use my obsidian ink for this. I'm still going to stamp the vase. Who knows? I might use that somewhere down the road. But this is going to stamp all. I mean, this is gorgeous to make it look like a no-line coloring. So that would be pretty too. But I think you'll be surprised when you stamp back over the top how much it just brings everything to life. Now, is there a risk of me messing up and it not lining up? Absolutely. That is a risk I am willing to take. We'll get that stamped down. There. And it just makes everything pop. Just pop. See, Barb said she was holding her breath. I don't anymore. It doesn't faze me anymore. I do it so much that well, I mean, if I get too overconfident, yes, I will mess up. But I've done it so much, it just doesn't even faze me anymore. So that, look at that. So that just brought all of those colors back in, or all those lines back in. So I'm going to put this away because I'm going to need to stamp a sentiment at some point. So I'm going to need room. I'm brave. Because I have one more piece of ink blending that I want to do first, and then I'll figure out my sentiment. This does have a coordinating die to it. So let's go ahead and bring that out. I love, love, love having a coordinating die. Just a little twist and turn to find where it lines up. Thank you guys so much. I'm glad you like it. Now my ink is probably, my black ink is probably still wet, so I'm kind of risking getting ink on my die cut machine. So I'm going to hold this down multiple times. And I have to say, there is like quite a delay tonight on YouTube and comments. That is, I'm just seeing your guys' comments now on the reveal. So now I can pop that up. So that lined up pretty good. Oops. I was being a little reckless with that. So that is my coin die. I should probably still die cut that out, huh? Where's my dies? Double stamping. I've definitely double stamped in my time. And it is what it is. It's sometimes I try to still use it just depending on how bad it is, or sometimes even if it's off center a little, it still kind of can look pretty. You might look at it as like more of a whimsical design. I'm just cleaning my top plate on my cutting machine right now because I don't want to transfer any ink. And let me just cut out my vase right away. All right, so there is the vase. So that's how it would look if we did the vase. It's only paper. Ah, Barbara. I can only say that so far. Like, yes, only paper, but I still want to cry if I mess up. One second, guys. I'm just grabbing an extra piece of cardstock because I want to die cut this bouquet again. I like to layer up my die cuts at least once. So let's go ahead and do that right away. Paper in an hour. Yeah. Well, the time, yeah. I mean, the time does make me want to cry, but sometimes it's like, it's more of, oh my gosh, the layers that you worked through, you know, like all the ink pads you have spread out on your desk and the mess you made. And, or if you really liked it, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, that's where it that's where it breaks my heart when I double stamp or mess something up. So I did that. Now, could do that. I don't think that just quite works for me like that. So what I'm thinking is, let me grab another piece of cardstock. Trim this out. So again, this is just the white cardstock from Concord and Ninth. So what I was kind of thinking here, if I don't use the vase, is using the circle and then placing my flowers in that circle. That's kind of where I'm going with this idea. And then I could actually pop that up a little bit more and maybe do the sentiment over there, I think is what I'm going to do. And maybe a nice light. Should I do, I think I'm going to do the blue. I was thinking yellow, but I think maybe I'll do the blue. Yes, if you're joining late, thank you guys so much for popping in. Yes, I am past. I'm past an hour. I'm so sorry, guys. Thought I had this kind of planned out fairly well, but well, I just got carried away. That's all. So I am still going to use that sea glass, I think, and just add a little bit of blue up there. So I do have a discount code, a special gift with purchase from Altenew. that I will be updating in the video description. I'll pop up a screen here in just a second as I get this ink blended on. So I think that is what, yeah, just a little bit. We'll just do that. That's all I need. Do I sketch ideas ahead of time or create more on the fly? Oof. I don't sketch anything. I don't know. I've never been one to really sketch. Sometimes I will make an entire card ahead of time. Sometimes I will kind of just lay out. Like I literally kind of just took the flower, placed it over the stencil ahead of time. Like, yeah, I like the circle in the background. I didn't really see what it was going to look like. So I sometimes come in with a general plan. Not all the time. Amrita is quietly lurking in the background. Hi, Amrita. Now, I put that circle pretty high. That kind of bums me out. That is really high. I have a lot of white space down here. I'm not happy with that. I don't really want to waste your guys' time. Hold on. Let's try this one more time. Flip my cardstock over. How did I mess that up? Let's try it right here this time. Maybe a little lower. I'm not even. Boy, I am going to just mess. I am determined to mess this card up. And I'll pop in that sea glass again. I don't like to waste your guys' time with my mess ups. I know time is precious. Everyone's got things to do. So let's see how this one looks. That was kind of a quick stenciling. So that is a little better. So I will use that one. We'll use that side. And then I just need to stamp a sentiment. So I should be able to wrap this up fairly quickly. While I'm kind of getting this prepared here, let me pop this on for you guys. If you are just joining in or you joined in late, Altenew is offering this a free gift with a purchase of $69 or more using the code Mindy Live 2 there on screen. Again, I will update the video description after the live, but that code will get you a free mini blending brush, which I used a ton in the video today. And then, of course, I do have, just getting ready to stamp my sentiment. I do have a basic supply list down below in the video description, and I will update that after the live with all of the supplies that I've used. I can only plan out so much, and I always end up grabbing something else. So we'll do Just For You. That was with the obsidian ink. Clean that off. So now I'm getting to the end. So products are just starting to fly on my desk. I don't like when my oh, look at that. It's put nail polish on that cardstock. Oh boy, it's stuck. So let's peel this up. There we go. Usually a little more careful about that. Then I can pop this back in, maybe. There we go. So I can get this off on the side. And then the coordinating die. Oh no, Tracy, that's how your whole day has been? Well, I'm so sorry. I better have picked a sentiment with a coordinating die. I feel like I didn't. I usually do. Does this work? It doesn't look like it works. See, I pick my sentiments based off of if it has a coordinating die. And pretty sure I just picked one that doesn't. This has got to have one. Yes. Oh, thank goodness. I mean, yes, if there's a certain sentiment I really need to use, I use it. But a lot of times I need a coordinating die. I love having coordinating dies for my sentiments. So let's get that lined up. Sorry for my head, guys. And then I can die cut this out really quick here. And then I can add it to a card base. So I don't have a lot left to do on this. Kind of getting into the home stretch. So not overly late. I just got carried away on my blending. And I want to build up my sentiment. So I'm die cutting the sentiment multiple times from this cardstock. All right, so I have those now. And this one's got quite the white edge around it. Yeah, that is, if you're just joining, that is the finished flower that I did. So let's get this sentiment all glued together. And button up this card. But again, I just want to thank you guys for joining me tonight, especially when I go a little long. And also, if you're catching the replay, thank you guys so much for catching the replay. So there, I did 3 layers. Ooh, my glue is going crazy. Did 3 layers for the sentiment. And let me grab a card base for that. We could watch you all day, Elaine says. Well, thank you. So I just am going to do, I love a book style card base. Don't know why. Get this folded in half, and this is a heavyweight cardstock. So then I could put this on top. Yeah. I don't know if I'm done. I might have to add splatters. I think I'm going to. I have to trim that down because I'm a little off. Rebecca Combs, I love that glue. Which one? The tape runner or that liquid glue I was just using? I have multiple things floating around my desk. There we go. So now, okay, I don't know if I have the heart to cut any leaves off. Well, I might be able to. Did I use the right side? Yeah, I did. Am I in camera? There I am. And actually, let's see. I might have to hang that off a little bit. And then I might put my sentiment over there. Maybe that. I think I'll go like this. And I know it's going to be hard to see me cut those edges off, but I really do like the look of, you know, like it's continuing somewhere else that we don't see. Thought about adding splatters, but I think I'm going to keep this one pretty clean tonight. So I'm going to just go ahead and add this. I was going to bring out some foam tape for it, but I don't know. See how the mood kind of changes. Like, I don't want a ton of dimension to it, and I already have at least one layer of cardstock behind it, and I'm good with that. The liquid glue, Rebecca. Yes, that is great glue. I have a few bottles sitting in front of me of that glue. I don't think I linked it. It is the craft glue from Simon Says Stamp. They have small bottles and they have a big bottle. I have like 4 bottles sitting over here. So I'm going to have that kind of bleed off the edge a little bit. Hello from San Diego. Hello, hello. And okay, maybe I will use a little bit of foam tape to pop that sentiment up. So let's find, don't remember which one I linked, but this is the one I'm going to use. I just need a little bit. I could add some bling. Let's try this first. Okay. I missed, there were some comments up ahead I gotta go back and catch. I didn't want to miss your guys' comments. Pretty as is, I see. Linda Marie says, thank you guys. Lisa says, it's okay if you mess up because then I feel better when I do too. What matters is the end product and all I get to learn each time from you. Well, thank you so much. No, I mess up plenty, don't worry. And usually it does happen in a live because I can't edit it out. I am doing better at accepting the fact of, I shouldn't say the fact. I mean, I totally am one to admit things are not perfect for me all the time. Cards can take me multiple tries before you see the finished card. The reason I don't share a ton of mistakes in my videos is because if you want to recreate it, I don't want to waste your time by showing you what I messed up on. I want to get to the point, show you what worked, how I did it. I do leave, there are some videos that I leave my mistakes in, but a lot of times I your time is precious. Some people, it's after work, you put your kids to bed, you don't have a lot of time. And I don't want you to watch a video and be like, oh my gosh, you did it wrong. And now so did I. So, but yes, I am definitely make my fair share of mistakes. So we are going to pop that's some, no, I don't know if I want to commit. Come back. I don't know if I want to commit. Okay. I do that a lot too. I talk to my cards a lot. If I want to go over there, no, I think I do kind of like it tucked in a little bit here. I think I do like it there. Okay. Thank you guys. Yeah, a blooper reel. I don't think my blooper reel would be appropriate. Oh yeah, I've done that a couple times. There were a few people that at the end of the video, I'm like, now this is the segment of what would I do differently? Yeah, I've done that a few times. People seem to get a kick out of that segment of my video because, yeah, a lot of times I get done with the card and I'm like, I would have done this different. I mean, it turned out fine, but I would have done this different. It's kind of fun. There. So I have it kind of bleeding off a little bit on the side. Don't mind my hair. And I do, let me see what I have for bling around here. You're right. I think I could use some bling. Let me take a look real quick. I have some stashed under my desk. So 1 second. This is one of my stashes. Altenew does have some gorgeous sequins. It is in the other room right now, and I don't feel like going in there to get it. And I still have to organize it. So I am going to go with my kind of ultimate go-to, which is the Gina K Designs Clear Quartz Sequence. It's just it's my go-to. It's my safe place. So I'm just going to scoop that out in these little triangle trays. Thank you guys. I'm glad you like it. And then Where is, hold on. There it is. Love, love, love these tools. So Altenew has, I think they call it a perfect picker. Love these things. Oops, I'm over here. So let's bling it up and we'll call it good. I just made a mess. Sometimes we learn more from the mistakes than if everything goes perfect. And I totally agree with that. Because that's a good thing in life as well. We aren't going to learn anything if we don't mess up every now and then. It's what we take away from that where we learn. Don't want to cover that center. Thank you, Lisa. Yes, if you, while I'm kind of placing out, I'm going to try and not take too long on placing my embellishments because we know this can take forever. If you guys have any questions, it'd be a great time to pop those into the comments. Let's see, I'm trying to do like a flow. Took you there. I don't want to get carried away. What if I did 3 over here? Oh, you guys, I should never have picked out embellishments because this can take a while. And I don't want to hold it up too much more. Let's go with that. Yeah. Little late catching your live, Stacy. Not a problem. Replay will be available. So I'm just going to add a dot of glue. Whoop. Warm in my house. I think my glue is acting up. So let's plop those down. Jewel pickers are also, or what do they call this? Placement? I forget. I just said it too. These tools also, I feel like you can never have enough of because I always misplace mine. I think placing the embellishments is hard. It is hard. It's like one of the hardest parts of the card. I totally agree with that. You know who's really, really good at embellishment placement is Yana Smakula. She is a wizard. I love her placement of her embellishments. All right, so I think I'm going to call this good. So I did fall colors in the peonies. I did my sentiment, and this is all off of, I buried Lovely Rose Peony. I buried that set over there, so I was trying to peek through my stack. So Lovely Rose Peony, I do have that and that circle stencil and most of the inks linked in the video description. I will update the supply list after I get something to eat and settle in and get some pictures for you. So I'll have a blog post and everything else for that. I do want to pop this graphic up one more time for you guys. So if you are interested in doing any shopping or have some things just sitting in your cart, we do have a free gift with purchase that's good through the 10th. So on the 10th, that special will end, but it is a free mini blending brush, which I used multiple times in the video tonight on orders over $69 with the code MindyLive2. And then those are affiliate links that are down in the video description. So if you do click on those links, I will get a small percentage of that. But this is our finished card project using that bundle. I'm going to come back up here to you guys, glasses and all tonight. So any quick questions I can help you guys out with before I let you go, because I used a lot of your time today. That was an hour and a half, and I'm so sorry. That went longer than it was supposed to. Tracy, question. How do you know where to make the petals dark and where to make them light? So I look back at my coloring because I actually started card making using alcohol markers. And when we had talked about adding shading to flowers, typically if you look at a flower, the shadow area is going to be, or the darkest area is going to be towards the center. So that's kind of how I start. Like I know this is, you can't see because I don't have the card up. Hold on one second. There we go. So I know I have a light color here and my darker color was out here, but I kept making it darker as it got down towards the center of the flower because I think that would be what is darkest. Like you would see that be darker, the edges would be brighter because that's where the sunlight is hitting it. And this is a trick, excuse me. This is a trick that I also like to think about. I wanted to show you something on the tabletop. One second. A trick I learned in coloring is I like to look for a light source. So sometimes I even do this with ink blending, alcohol markers. I will take any object on my desk and I pretend it's the sun. Let's pretend this is a lamp and I will place it like right here. So if this is a lamp or a flashlight shining down here, what part of the petal is it going to hit first? So it would hit a lot of these outer pieces first. And same thing as you get down here, it's going to hit over here first. So if you're ever looking at shading, coloring, ink blending, find an object and just place it somewhere. Place it on this side of your card. What part of the flower, whether it's each individual petal, would that light hit first? And I find, excuse me, when I am really stuck on shading, that really helps to just grab an object. Sometimes I can visual it and that's no problem, but a lot of times I will just grab an object and hold it there and be like, okay, what is that going to hit first? If it was a flashlight, or take a flashlight. So that is something that I do quite often. The link for the circle mask isn't working. Oh no, I will check into that after my live is all done. I will get that fixed if that is not working for you guys. Has anybody else tried the circle mask link? What about the sun? I use the sun as an example as a light source. So light source meaning that, lightest to darkest when I'm doing contrasting colors on my card. So I have a light area and I have a dark area. And I just like the sun is going to hit the petals, so I pretend a lamp or something like that, just a light source in general. I hope that's what you were asking about, Terry. I hope that made sense. Okay, guys, any other questions? Krista says, love your craft room. Thank you, Krista. I am so glad you guys joined me tonight on this Monday night live. I know it sounds kind of funny because there's football on tonight, but thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate each one of you, whether it was live or in the replay. Again, I will update everything once I get everything kind of settled in. I'll take some pictures, get my links updated. Lisa, I'm going to pull my bundle out and get to do a card last night. Last night? You were going to do a card, or tonight you're going to do a card? Oh, and can you share where you got the stand for your Altenew inks behind you? I don't really have a link for that. I got those actually at Walmart. They were in the like drawer organizer section. So like for socks and stuff like that. So I've tried to hunt down a link. I've never really found one, but I just got them at Walmart. Storage container places, might have like a 3-compartment type of organizer. Thank you guys. Sim. Oh, because you're in Australia. I will look into that, but thank you guys again. And thank you Altenew for joining tonight. Thank you, Vicki Donnelly, for helping with the links and answering any questions. You guys are both absolutely amazing. So if you do have any questions after the replay kind of goes through its processing, then I'll be able to see like regular comments underneath. So if you have questions, feel free to drop them down there. I'm always checking my YouTube comments, or feel free to email me as well. So thank you guys. I appreciate you popping in tonight, and I will see you again real soon.